Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Today guys, we are going to be jumping down into the charts to take another look at Vechain to see what's been going on most recently with the price action, what happened yesterday with the flash crash, and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. There's also links to our Patreon services if that is something of interest to you. You're looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, why not check that out as well? Right, let's jump right down into this analysis for Vechain. So we're on Vechain paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. This is just Binance as the data source. Now, obviously, we've been kind of doing a lot of analysis here for this one, and I want to talk about what was going on yesterday. Obviously, Bitcoin pulled the entire market down a little bit, and it's potentially, we're finding that top, right? We found that kind of top where we were talking about a correction that was coming. It's possible that this is the start of it, okay? Vechain is obviously heavily correlated to Bitcoin and all that kind of good stuff, but I do think there's one last push here for Vechain, and I want to kind of talk about what I'm seeing here and what would invalidate this as well, okay? Because there's a high possibility that this doesn't play out, so I want to make sure that I show you both sides of the coin, if you will, what I think is potentially possible and what I think is more probable, okay? So what we're going to do is talk about this ABC move first, right? This actually is a 335 move, slightly expanding, if you will. So essentially we've got some kind of A, B, C move just inside here. Let me just actually change this back into yellow. So A, B, C just inside here. Now this is very, very messy and not easy to see. So I'll try that again. Basically A, B, C just inside here, just a quick A, B, C down. Then we obviously move up, and again this is another corrective move. Again A, B, overextended C, but not impulsive. And then over this side, we actually have an impulsive move down. We go essentially, I think it was from here. So wave 1, wave 2. Essentially, it was this point just over here that was the trigger, this one here. So wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 coming down. Okay, so 5 waves. And you could, of course, counted this just as a single kind of third wave down or whatever, and you could have gone down lower and all that kind of good stuff. So essentially, that's kind of what you've got, and what that actually makes up is what they call a flat correction, a 335, right? So 3 waves, 3 waves, 5 waves in a corrective pattern or in a corrective position, right? So we have 5 waves up, and then we have that correction there. So that's kind of what you're looking at, and now we're tracking this little movement here, right? And now this is an interesting one because where we have that 5 waves down, we've actually now started an impulsive move back up, right? So we grab our fib, we run it from this level here, and we go ahead and move it over to this low point, which will be this one here. Again, that 1.618 area right here is our impulsive move, okay? So when we go higher than that, we know that it's an impulsive trigger. So right here, we can see that we've passed through it, and we're pushing on up nicely. So couple this, let me just get rid of that and bring back the stochastic RSI. We can, of course, acknowledge that we're overbought, right? And because we're overbought, we should be expecting some kind of correction that lowers the stochastic RSI. Now, what we want to do is we want to make sure that that's only just a brief correction, something like this, and we cannot go down lower than that wick right there, okay? So let me grab hold of a horizontal ray. I'll grab hold of this, and we'll throw this right on top of here. So this yellow line at about 7758, I can make that a little bit more accurate, I guess. We just bring this down into here. So the wick on this actually went up to a high of 7757. So I was one too high, so just bring that down a little bit. There you go. So 7757. Okay, so that's the area that we cannot cross, right? So if there's a wave 4 correction, which I think there will be, so if we have this mark up, the wave 1, just up here, wave 2, wave 3, there'll be some kind of wave 4. This wave 4 cannot cross this wave 1 line, okay? And I don't think it would, but just be mindful that if it does, that's what would happen. This would then actually mark us with a 5th wave going higher wherever that 4th wave does go, and obviously we can't plot a 4th wave until the 3rd wave is complete. It's still looking like it's pushing up nice and strongly, but it is going to be up against all this resistance right here. So again, this is a high area of of buying pressure previously, and obviously we pushed all the way through it. So hopefully this will, find some kind of level of support. This overbought area, so quick pullback and then another surge upwards, or potentially just stay up in the overbought area without actually moving that too much, but seeing some red here just to allow us to have a correction in the middle, which will be fine. So the reason I say this is obviously on our 4-hourly chart, what we've actually got here is a good strong move up. Okay, now this strong move up, and we haven't even moved our 4-hour stochastic RSI at this point. Okay, so we've got plenty of room to move here. So when this candle gets completed, probably in the next hour or so, we should be thinking about, how much that stochastic RSI is going to move upwards, okay? Because that's going to determine whether or not we're going up in a really strong move, or whether we're not just going to have a kind of a bounce, and this is actually a bigger play going on here, which I don't think it is right now in terms of the corrective move. I think Vechain has a higher probability of actually moving up, just setting up that third wave final move before we actually finish it off for good. So on that note, if we jump up into our 8-hourly chart, we also have an oversold stochastic RSI, meaning that we are likely to have some kind of medium-term push upwards, right? So again, aligning to the idea that we are not necessarily going to pull back down straight away. So we could obviously just hit that area, that higher point, and then see the correction that I think Bitcoin is starting right now. So essentially, yeah, that's kind of what we've got there with that. Now, obviously, the daily chart is overbought, so we are thinking there is a medium-term correction. This is the correction that I think Bitcoin is on, effectively a wave 4 move on our daily chart. So as you can see, we're expecting this kind of correction, right? We don't know where that third wave is actually going to finish here for that. It could be up here, but I think it has a little bit more room to grow. Not too much, but just a little bit more. And then I think we're going to pull back down, okay? This correction here is the one that I think a lot of people are waiting for, because this is going to be the opportunity to jump back into many projects before they have that 5th wave, okay? That 5th wave going up just slightly higher than here, okay? Not too much higher. That's kind of how I look at it. And then essentially all of this is a wave 1 on our weekly chart, okay? So we'd have basically just a wave 1 wherever that may land, and then a deeper correction, okay? So there's going to be a lot of volatility coming up now, okay? Wave 3 is usually the stronger of the waves, okay? This is the one that has a lot of buy-in power, not so much on the retail side. Retailers tend to miss out on this unless they're following cheeky crypto, of course, catching the bottom at this point down here in the wave 2. But nonetheless, joking aside, essentially, retail investors tend to miss this one, and as a result of that, they tend to buy that wave 4 and they drive wave 5 higher. Wave 5 is less institutional or whales. It's that's more profit taking for those guys and for the savvy investor, if you will. So that will actually lead to a shorter wave 5 and then a deeper corrective wave 2. Normally, of course, FOMO can get the better of many people, and wave 5 sometimes actually goes bonkers just on the FOMO alone. That being said, once wave 5 is done, you'll see this wave 2. This wave 2 will at least be 50% of whatever this wave 1 move is, so it will be pretty significant, and it will lower the stochastic RSI on the weekly charts, okay? And this is the one that we are not on right now. This is the one that's a little bit off just yet. So this is the one that's going to be coming, and it's going to shock a lot of people. Okay, so just bear in mind that there is a correction of a larger scale coming in, and there's a smaller correction that I think is starting really, really soon. Okay, once we have this low point in, we'll have a wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5. That's kind of how I see it. Okay, and what we're building right now is the structure. So if I come back into our daily, this structure is basically essentially the building blocks of the impulsive move going forward into the weekly and maybe even the monthly chart, right? And it's those ones that are really do matter. Okay, so we're looking for this correction on this daily chart, but I think Vechain first has to move up a little bit, okay, based on the 4-hourly and hourly chart and this impulsive move that we're seeing here on our hourly. Okay, so very unfortunate that this was not just some kind of 333 move, but a 335. Obviously, Bitcoin caused this pullback here, so we'll be keeping a close eye on what BTC does. Obviously, it is leading the way and it is heavily correlated to Vechain here. So just keep that in the back of our heads. Essentially, I think there's a high probability of moving up, but it's also very possible that we pull back down. If we do cross 7757 without breaching this B wave high, then I would be really cautious at that point to say we're probably starting the correction of the fourth wave before we actually get into that final fifth wave higher on the daily chart. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.